This school is as scary as a prison, and the girls don't even know it. They lined up to wash their faces for the cameras to record. Over and over again. They don't get clean until the green light comes on. If the red light comes on accidentally, the girl will be treated as unclean. They're put in a cold holding cell. Here they just learn to do chores day in and day out. Then it was time to wash up and go to bed. Until the girl turns 16, someone will come and adopt them, and they graduate from school. Vivien is one of the most distinguished girls here. She has a proud, elegant demeanor. She is the leader of the girls. On this day, the principal took the 16-year-old girls to their new dormitory. Now they each have a big bed. But Vivien wasn't happy because there was someone she hated. Nia. 6 years ago, they were best friends, but then Nia drops her jar while washing her face. Vivien picked it up for her, but missed the washing time. The result was that they were branded as unclean. At that time, Nia was too scared to speak up for Vivien. After that, Vivien never trusted anyone again. But today Nia found the opportunity to tell her, "Don't take the vitamins the school gives you every day." Vivien didn't want to pay attention to it, but when she took the vitamins at night, she couldn't help but pretend to swallow them to fool the camera. Then she went to the bathroom and threw up the vitamins. Vivien was so nervous that she covered her mouth. It took her a while to calm down. After all, this was the first time she had ever broken a school rule. That night, Vivien found that the girl in the dormitory was sleeping very deeply, even though she shouted several times. They didn't wake up. Only Nia was awake and telling Vivien those vitamins were actually sleeping pills that would make the girls fall into a deep sleep. And in the meantime, a guard would come into the dormitory. Suddenly there was a commotion outside the door. Nia rushed back to her bed. The two of them pretended to be asleep, as Nia had expected. The principal came into the dormitory with two guards. They took Vivien and the other girl away. They were taken to another room. The headmaster then came in with a couple. They looked closely at the two girls. The girls had the same delicate look. The skin was fair and smooth without sun exposure. The wife of the couple looked at the stimulating looks in the mirror. The ravages of time have long made her face wrinkled, watching her husband praising Vivien. But the wife deliberately pointed to the other girl and said,
"Pay them."
Vivien was sent back to her room, but she was surprised. It was obviously a family adoption. Why did the couple have to pay? Are they some kind of commodity? Nia persuaded Vivien to leave with her, because now the dormitory door was unlocked. It was the best chance, but before she could make a decision, the principal came back to the dormitory and took Nia away. All the girls in this room were asleep. Vivien was the only one who stayed awake. She opened the dormitory door secretly, looking into the empty corridor. Guess she had the courage to run to the exit, but the exit was locked. Without an access card, Vivien couldn't open it. It's too late. Vivien turned around and went back to the dormitory to lie down. The guards sent Nia back. The dormitory door was completely locked. The first order of business now was to get the access card. Otherwise, there was no way to escape from the school even if she stayed awake. The 16-year-old girl needs a group vaccination. Vivien noticed that the doctor was being extra kind to her, so she decided to start with the doctor's side. In this strange school, the girls have to attend classes via video, time and time again. They listen to the girls develop their lessons. They can't leave even if the player breaks down. The girls were told that the air outside was poisonous, so they never went outside. The girls who turned 16 also had to be vaccinated as a group, but after the vaccination, the girls had a violent reaction. Their arms would become very red, swollen and bloody. Some of them would even convulse and vomit. Nia proposed to tell all the girls about the sleeping pills, but Vivien didn't agree. She knew that no one would believe them both. Vivien came back to the doctor the same day to find out what had happened, but accidentally revealed that she hadn't taken her vitamins. The doctor immediately changed his attitude. He said he would give Vivien a dose of vitamin concentrate. Otherwise, the guards would be called to take her away for punishment. It turns out that the principal and the doctor are in cahoots. They set up the school only for an ulterior motive. After the dose, Vivien felt confused. She couldn't concentrate. This situation lasted for several days. Nia approached Vivien again. She told her plan. She decided to get the access card from the guards. Vivien had a deep fear of the guards. She can't help but scold Nia, but her actions were reported by the other girls. It's a mistake to make any noise here. The principal soon arrested Vivien. She was put in solitary confinement. Vivien languishes in the solitary confinement cell. Meanwhile, Nia was ready to do something. She twisted the sheets into a rope. She pretends to be asleep when the guards enter the dormitory. She takes the opportunity to strangle the guard and escape the dorm, but the guards were strong. Nia was choked. At the critical moment, Nia pretended to be knocked out, but she knocked the guard out with the iron she had. That's how she managed to get the access card. She rushed to find Vivien, who was locked up, but just 1 second before opening the door, the alarm went off. Nia had to turn around and leave, no matter how much Vivien pleaded behind her. Early the next morning, the principal gathered all the girls in the dormitory. She told them that Nia had betrayed the school and had been taken to the bottom of the school for punishment. But the principal didn't find the access card. She suspected that some girl had it. Now the girl had better hand over her access card voluntarily. Otherwise, the guards will take one girl a day for punishment. The principal herself watches over the students as they take sleeping pills. Vivien had to prick herself with a hairpin to stay awake. She had to get out of the school. She struggled to get up after the girls were asleep. She looked all over Nia's bunk for the access card, but she couldn't find it anywhere. Just when she was about to give up, Vivien found the access card in a crevice of her bedside table. She was overjoyed. She used the access card to open the door, but after swiping the card, there was no response. Vivien was once again in despair. She leaned against the door and cried. Turning her head, she saw the hinge holding the door open. She tried it. She could unscrew the screws, so Vivien removed the entire door, holding on to the wall. She stepped away, but the principal hadn't rested. She found Vivien running away. She wanted to give Vivien a sleeping pill, but Vivien knocked her out with a lamp. Vivien took care of the principal and escaped into the hallway. Outside the door of the escape, a curved moon hung high in the sky. This was the first time Vivien saw the outside world. She wanted to leave just like that, but she couldn't. She had to go save her friends. Vivien went to the bottom floor. It was like a prison, separated by bars. She found Nia in one of the rooms. Nia's hands were tied with ropes. They find a scalpel in another room. They found a scalpel in another room. After cutting the ropes, this room caught the attention of both of them. Vivien found 3 bags here. On them were written the names of the girls being punished. They opened them and saw. Inside was the girl's body, and the skin on her face had been peeled off. So this is the purpose of the principal and the doctor. School is horrible. They train a group of beautiful girls. When the girls turn 16, they were chosen by the rich. The selected girls will lose their lives. Their faces will be transplanted into the rich man's body. As for the so-called vaccine, they are filled with the genes of the rich man. It was to test for rejection. Knowing the truth, Vivien wanted to leave, but Nia wanted to save more people. Nia took the access card and pretended it was an order from the principal. She gathered all the girls together, but the girls don't believe her until Vivien brought in the principal. Only then do they realize that this place is not a school at all, but a cage. Even the principal herself was a man with a new face. They put the principal in a cell, preparing to escape from this place. As soon as the door was opened, the alarm went off. The guards arrived quickly. The girls scattered and fled. Nia was wounded in the process of escaping. Vivien had to take her into a small room with him. The doctor came soon after. Until now, she was lying to Vivien about going back. She said she was saving girls in poverty. Vivien knew that the reason the doctor was nice to her because she has a very valuable face. So she didn't hesitate to cut her own face to dash the doctor's hopes. Eventually, the police found the school. They broke down the door and found Vivien and Nia. For 16 years they had been living a lie. It was the first time they had seen the sun. It was blinding, but it was also warm. How many people in the name of grace, but they do all the dirty work. If beauty requires life to be buried with it, that beauty will eventually bear the mark of blood, forever tainted.